what I do in one word. Impact.
There you go. I love it. Okay. What do you love the most about your job?
I think what I love the most about my job is that I'll tell you another story. When I first graduated from my PhD program, before I found a job counseling in Lancaster, one of the first jobs I interviewed for was actually a job as a counselor in the prison. So I was at Lee Correctional Institute and I was applying for a job. And when I walked in and they started, locking the doors and unlocking the doors and just seeing all of these brothers, locked up and confined in shackles, et cetera.
Yeah,
coming from an environment where I had been a student, for the past, 10, 12 years in undergrad and graduate school, and watching, people, filled with hope and optimism. And then on the flip side, going into an environment where there was not a lot of hope and people were depressed and it was dark. It was an environment that I really could not see myself working in because it made me depressed just being in that particular environment. So I think what I learned from that is to really appreciate, the education and the training that I have, and also the number of options that I have as a professional. And what I love most about my job as a professor is that I get to see, students filled with hope and optimism about what they could possibly, become in the future. And just working in that environment, I think it keeps me young as well. And, just watching the students flourish and become successful. I mean, that's really what I enjoy most about the job. Right now, the young lady who is the commissioner for the entire state of South Carolina Vocational Rehabilitation Department is a student named Felicia Johnson, who graduated from the program.
Wow.
Remember when Lindsey Graham was debating in the Senate debates, and he said his sister graduated from SC State. I don't know if you were watching him and Jamie Harris debate, but one day he tried to play the, I have some HBCU roots card as well. And he said, my sister graduated from SC State. What he didn't say was his sister graduated from the rehab counseling program at SC State. And she is also the commissioner for the South Carolina Commission for the Blind. And then about 2 weeks ago, we had a student, Natasha, I can't remember her married name, but she was just promoted to the area director for the Orangeburg Department of Mental Health. So for me, in a short period of time, just seeing all of these individuals coming from various backgrounds, many of them first generation college students like myself, just transform and become these professionals, and not just, surviving, but thriving in the profession, and watching them manage. Felicia Johnson is managing a budget over, $60 million, and knowing that she graduated from SC State, and I had a hand in, assisting and mentoring and teaching. To me, that really makes me feel, very satisfied in what I'm doing as a professor. And also the other thing I love about being a professor is that we have autonomy. Even though, we're charged to do research, we get to select, what topics we work on. Even though we're charged to pursue grants, we get to pick what type of grants, we go after. And because of, the things that I benefited from as a student at SC State, that's why I'm always going after grants that directly benefit students in terms of training grants and being able to provide scholarships and tuition and living expenses for students. So I think as professors, we have a ton of autonomy in terms of how we work. And I with my ADHD, I can't see myself sitting at a desk from 9 to 5. That would be very challenging for me.
Okay, it's very interesting that it's not on the card, but it's so important and impactful that you just said you have ADHD, but you also are a professor. You also write grants. You also do mentorship. You also have a job that never sleeps. You also are the pioneer that started HBCU Times Magazine. And so it's just like, wow, it's so amazing. I believe what God can do. I believe what, so many people who have invested in your life. And I feel like it's awesome just to hear your entire story. So thank you.